What is going on, guys? My name is Ty, and I have Kyle here with me, and this is the Weekend Warriors Disc Golf Podcast. Welcome back. And guess what? Walnut Open has finally ended. We are back. This is our post episode of Walnut Open. This is the 21st episode, and we're very excited to give you guys a cool update on all of the crazy stuff that has happened this weekend, what went down during Walnut Open. Also, we'll recap of the Champions Cup in Ronnie's Corner, obviously, which is going to happen later in the episode. And pretty much this is going to be a more of a podcast about the Walnut Open of both Kyle and I's experience, especially for me traveling up, coming to Walnut, doing the thing, and then leaving very, very early. Drive was awful. But first, I got to do what we got to do, and that's the sponsor for the pod. As normal, it's Gravity Disc Golf exists to exceed your out of this world expectation with unparalleled custom design, disc, and apparel. Gravity is creating an atmosphere where disc golfers can enjoy every aspect of disc golf while blasting off with space themed designs. No matter what you throw, Gravity has designs on almost every manufacturer. It can make your game look great. They offer free shipping on orders over $75. And John includes a nice note to each customer. Make sure to check them out at gravitydiscgolf.com to complete your bag. And guess what, Kyle? They are out of this world, blasting off. Definitely use KG10 or Ty DG10 to get 10% off your next order. Definitely use that. Also, if you go over $75, you get free shipping. So even more goodies to get your bag completed for this season. We are in the midst of the amazing 2024 season, and hopefully you guys are having a great one, because we definitely are. And we have been kicking off with some amazing cool tournaments like Walnut Open. Yeah, and then also we got an update. The jersey delivery has been, what was it? He finally has a shipment.
He finally has a confirmed shipment
Yeah.
of the jerseys, a tracking number for them,
Perfect.
a date of their estimated arrival. So we should be finally getting this stuff shipped out by next week. I believe he said.
I think like
by this
ending
weekend.
this weekend. I probably won't see it, the thing hit until like Monday or Tuesday, which is fine. I'm always grateful regardless. I'm just excited. I honestly don't remember what I said at this point. So I'm just excited. It's gonna be just perfect. I'm gonna be surprised. Like I'm just gonna open it, give you guys my real raw experience with it. So you guys will enjoy that when that content comes in. I'm sure Kyle will do the same. So definitely be patient on that, because we'll be posting our unboxing videos from that. But yeah, let's get right into it. Let's just deep dive. Let's do it. So Walnut Open just happened, and two completely different experiences. Obviously, you live like 200 feet away from the course, and I live 800 miles away from the course. So, well, actually, a little bit more than that, because 800 miles is technically St. Louis. So, yeah, I don't know how many miles that is. So, probably 1,000 something miles, actually. But yeah, let's just kind of get down with it. So,
How was your overall experience? And I will say though, to start this out, is for as much storms and rain and everything we were supposed to get, then they couldn't have turned out any better. I will say that.
We got very lucky. The winds slowed down, which was insane, because we were literally practicing 2 days, both days prior, on very heavy winds. And for some reason, there was like little to zero wind on the first round. Second round, I kind of picked up a little bit. And then obviously, right when we finished, it just started pouring down. Like, you just opened the floodgates. That was insane. How everybody just finished. We got to Tournament Central, and it just pours the entire time during the ceremony. Yeah, man, it was crazy. So obviously I did do the vlogging. I tried to do as much as I can. Sadly, I got very little to no content on the field. I just forgot. I got into disc golf mode,
Tournament mode, yeah.
And you and I even talked about it too. Like after the event was or after when the event was over, we realized that we didn't get any content that we were planning on. And I think it's just because we were just so focused, and rightfully it was definitely needed, because I mean we'll get into it a little bit further, but we're doing well at the very, very beginning. Like we were on it. And I just mentally, I was just so into the game, and I was just like, I gotta just keep working. But yeah, I'll just kind of start on mine. Mine obviously is a little bit longer because of the whole traveling aspect. But yeah, it started Thursday night. Um we got in, both flights were amazing. No turbulence, no craziness happening. Everything went smoothly. TSA went great. There was no issues at all going through Destin to um for this is the first flight, or the first, you know, getting up there. I mean, nothing was going on. Bag didn't get pulled like I thought it was going to. Everything was great. Sadly, both ways did not experience anybody asking about my bag. I was kind of upset about that. um I was hoping I could talk to people. But yeah, we got into Chicago, got the rental car, which was super easy. Definitely, if you guys never used Turo before, definitely use Turo. This is for anybody who's listening. This is not a sponsor at all. Just I just freaking love Turo. It's so easy compared to just actual rental car places. It's literally like it's like the Uber version of rentals. It's all on your app. You don't have to talk to anybody. All you do is just pay the host for one of their cars. They drop off the car for you. You don't even see the host. The entire time, I'm just texting this dude. I've never met him, but I used one of his cars and it was great. And so we got the car, got to our location, had some midnight pizza, passed out, woke up, had some Dunkin', drove to Walnut, and then that's when we had our first round, our first practice round, which I thought it went well. Little
That's pretty good.
shaky, little shaky
Mhm.
on my part. Um, I don't know why, but my brain just just thrown off with the baskets. Not in a bad way. Like the baskets were amazing. I had no weird spit outs like I did with the orange ones you guys had. The only thing that I have is I don't know why my brain just thinks that your baskets are so low. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know why my brain just thinks it, because like the first few holes I was just hitting band the entire time.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know why my brain thinks it. But I of course I cleaned it up. I Putting was way better definitely during the tournament. I was definitely hitting my putts when I needed to the most. But yeah, Friday we did a practice round. Saturday we had our family practice round, which it was great. That one was definitely needed, because it was like Friday was like getting all the kinks out and also trying out the newer disc just like in real time. Saturday was just reevaluating with the new disc, which
Yep.
I want to do like a in a bag, but more like a in a bag post tournament of like what I used and why I use these discs. So I'm thinking about doing that. And then obviously Sunday came, and it was great. It was seriously the best experience ever. I freaking miss Midwest disc golf. I explained that to Sarah as we were driving back home um to Chicago to get on our flight. It is such a difference thing. I don't know why. Like Midwest disc golf, I don't care what anybody says. Best style of disc golfing ever. the community is just so cool. Besides my second card, they could suck.
Oh God.
It was
Yeah.
awful. But other than that, like that's a whole nother story. We can get into that later. But uh I just think that just in general, the community in the Midwest is just truly like it's so cool and I enjoy it and it's not I don't know how to explain it. It's just different. Like when I always play down here, there's always a weird like notion of like, oh, who are you? Which was really weird.
Hmm.
It's a C tier, but like I've always gotten that feeling. I got that feeling for I've only done 3 tournaments down here, and all 3 of them. Obviously, you have a couple that are like super accepted, but like a lot of them are like I don't know, they're just weird. They're weird with it. So
Right.
but other than that, man, it was good. Just kind of like overall, traveling back home went great. Midway was obviously getting in was it was easy. My bag didn't get pulled at all again. Um, nothing popped up. I guess it was just good. Um, a lot of definitely more turbulence and stuff because then the storm was actually in. So there was, I mean, I was sleeping both flights, I think. So definitely, I was feeling it, but I didn't really, it didn't really bother me, obviously. But other than that, that's kind of like a very quick synopsis on everything. Obviously, I'll go in more in depth, but overall, how was your weekend experience before we start diving in even deeper with it?
Overall, it was a good weekend. I had a lot of fun. Uh, both cards for me were good, fun, a good time. Um, obviously Friday, as you said, we do have a practice round. I will have a video I will be editing at some point this week and
Mm-hmm.
releasing. Um, we did cut off at hole 18, I believe it is. My phone sadly died. That's another reason, to be honest, why I don't think I really dawned on me to tournament shots here and there is because now that everybody has to keep score too,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to conserve as much battery as I can in case something comes up, an emergency, or like
Yeah.
making sure your phone's alive and good for scorekeeping and everything else. Um, I just so trying to get those shots here and there, and as you get said before, I get into a tourney mode and it just completely changes. Like it's kind of the last thing that's on my mind. So
Yep.
that's something like if next time if we end up in a tournament together or an event and Rodney's around or anything else, that's when you have that person be able to film here and there what we can.
Yeah, and like she was around, but something happened with her phone, and she had to go
Yeah.
like a couple towns over to go to the Verizon store and like figure out what was going on, which she ended up getting a whole new phone. Which I mean, like it's weird, it's like cool, but like just like we just got
A
done
weird
paying it off.
situation.
It was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
got done paying it off, and then like all of a sudden now she's like, I had to
They
upgrade, and
flip the
then
switch. Oh, they're done paying that. We got to make sure they get a new phone. Click.
yeah, exactly. Because that's what's going on with
um,
my phone is like it's when I call people or when I'm on a phone call, if I'm not using my AirPods, like it's super silent, so I have to put the mug on
that is a that
speakerphone.
that is a iPhone issue. My wife's phone's always been quiet. She's like, "Why is your phone so loud when you talk to people?" But with mine, I could barely hear anybody. I have to have it on speaker half the time to hear anybody talking. I think that's just a common iPhone issue. And I'm not saying like your version, like versions throughout, like
Well, I'm
the 13, 14. You know what I mean? Like it's a common issue throughout.
yeah, I'm actually 3 generations behind. I have a 12 Pro, and I think they're
Mhm.
up at 15.
They
So
are at 15 now.
yeah, I'm always a like 2 or 3 generations behind. I never have the latest phone of anything.
Mhm.
I'm always a couple behind.
The Samsung 23s are now half the price
Yeah,
of like they're like 500 something dollars now instead of what is it, 1,030 $40 or something like
yeah,
that. I forget what they or 1,300 something dollars or something like that. Brand new. They're
yeah.
like $600 now at this point. Like they just as soon as the 24s came out, they just half those suckers. Um,
Rodney
but
got the
overall,
24, and
okay.
it looks like an iPhone, which it threw me off. Where she was holding, and I was like, "Did you get an iPhone?" She's like,
Yeah,
"No,
it does.
it's an
They went
S4."
back to the square. They went back to more of the square look.
It looks identical to an iPhone. Like
Yeah.
besides obviously the back with the stacked lens as opposed to the side by side. Like it it looks very identical, but this is not a phone podcast. This is a disc golf podcast. I apologize, guys. I went on this random tangent.
No, but when your phone, but the whole point is getting content, and
Yeah.
I use my phone. My phone died.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna miss the last three, unfortunately, but we did finish
Mm-hmm.
them out. But what content there is, it's a good time. Um,
And I apologize for my vlogging, guys. I'm gonna let you guys know now. You're gonna watch it. It's literally just probably gonna be me at different locations talking to the phone
which is fine, but
because
that's perfect. It's the same thing. Like if you watch Yuli's recaps episodes, that's the same thing. He like sitting in his apartment in the Airbnb
yeah,
in the car on the way to the course of practice,
yep,
and a couple shots in practice round, then back at the Airbnb, then back at the course, a couple shots, and back at the Airbnb. You know what I mean? Like, or and then in the car, and then it's just back and forth. But that's what it is. That's what it's about.
I
At
think
least there's some kind of content being produced.
yeah, and I think the most B-roll I got was some shots in the airport when I like got a snack and got like the gate number and shit like that. And then also um the actual first players meeting. I got some great content of just like the environment and atmosphere, and then it was raining, so I got a really cool like aesthetic shot where you see like the rain dripping off the pavilion, and you see the west side flag. um and it was just um that was it. Other than that, it's me sitting in a car outside walking with you, picking you up in the airport. So it's just me talking to the camera, which is
Which is
fine.
fine.
It's
Yeah.
it's a I'll make it still fun to watch, but it's just gonna be me in multiple locations.
So, and then Saturday, obviously, we had a family pets round, so we just kind of all had a good time. Basically, had a bunch of people come out, friends of the family,
It was a good
me,
round.
and everything else. Yeah, just a fun enjoyment. Um,
Kyle and I had a playoff that did not
yep,
last
we
long.
did. Nope. And then we had Sunday the tournament. Sunday morning, I woke up at
I could not sleep.
6:15, I would say,
Wow.
or so,
I woke up at
because
7.
yeah, well, I got up, got myself kind of ready, ate a quick bowl of cereal and stuff like that, just to kind of get something in me. And then I went over to the tournament central to kind of help unload the trailer, get everything set up. And then I came back to the house to meet you as you were practice warming up and putting and stuff, and then kind of headed over to the course. And because before I went back to you, people started showing up, so I was helping check people in and everything else, and we were getting about 20 minutes, 15 minutes before meeting player meeting. I let them know, I'm like, hey, I gotta run home, grab my bag and everything else, I gotta get ready. And like, oh, no, you go ahead, you're playing, we're not, so you go get what you need to get done. I'm like, thank you, I'll go ahead there. So I went back and that's when I got you and stuff. And then, yeah, we got a really cool card for the first card. You, myself, Louis, really cool dude. He's plays a lot of disc golf in area. I know him from league nights and playing tournaments and Rock River disc golf and all that stuff. Really cool dude. Um, and John was the other guy. He was pretty he could putt. He definitely could putt. He was hitting putts. I was like, oh gosh, these putts that he's making,
He
unbelievable.
was he
And then
was
he missed a couple,
bipolar.
and then he missed some, and it's like, oh, that's way off. Oh, that's and then suddenly a double. It's like, oh, okay, this feels more like where we're at now.
Yeah, it's definitely, it was very bipolar. I kept telling him the whole time he has a like he's just a rainbow card. He bogey, then double bogey, then birdie, and then like par, then birdie, then double, and then bogey. And I'm just like, they're all over the place, man. But it was a great first round. It felt good. Kyle and I were tied for first for quite some time. Um, I actually I had to look. Had a clean card for the entire front nine holes. Started off with a birdie, and I parred up to hole nine.
Mhm.
And well, our hole nine, even though we started at hole 11,
11. Mhm.
but yeah, because obviously it was shotgun. But I'd like to. We only played flex starts. We've only done that once, and that was at the Sauk Valley Open.
Oh, like the tea times or whatever.
Yeah, or whatever
Yeah.
you want to call that. Yeah, like that. That was really a cool experience. Cool, where they like, yeah, it was. We all started on the same hole, or the first hole,
Yeah.
but we all actually had tea times. That was a cool
Hmm.
experience. I enjoyed that. Um, I don't fully remember how the flow was, but I felt like it was weird. It was like the first round for our tournament for this, obviously this weekend, was a little bit longer, but then the second round zoomed by so
Yep,
quick.
it did.
Like, I don't know why. Um, I know I just didn't care, which we'll get into it. I want to get into more in depth after Rodney's corner, but um, yeah, I just was not in a good headspace my second round. Normally time my second round is the best round,
Hmm.
but it just, yeah, it was pretty upsetting.
Yeah. So overall, round one, because we'll talk around a little bit of round one now
Yeah,
before we head over to Rodney's, and we'll talk round two after.
exactly.
Um, so overall, though, round one, I basically just hurt myself for some reason. My forehand just I could
No.
not get. I was early releasing like a madman. I don't know what was going on with my forehand that day. At least the first round, early releasing everywhere. But I will say overall though, I went OB 4 times on my forehand,
Yeah, I watched
and
it.
yet I still finished even for the first round.
Yeah,
That tells you a lot. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like that says a lot.
and that's the problem is like, um, there was a lot of moments where I could have taken chances. I, you know, I was playing legitimately boring ass golf. I was going for pars. And if I was even remotely out of like 45, 50 range, I was not trying. I just right up, took my par, called it done. Like, I didn't care because like I was like, you know what? Like, I'd rather take a par than anything else. I'm just not, I don't want to chance it because knowing me, I'm gonna overthrow it. And then all of a sudden now I have, sounds bad, but I'm an MA3, so I could say it. I'm gonna have a 25 foot tester, and I'm gonna bitch out, and I'm gonna end up missing it, and now I become a bogey. So I was like, I'm gonna just take my pride, swallow it, and just pitch up and take a par. And I did that, and I was okay with it. I mean, oddly, I mean, like, I was doing great and it was going fine, but then obviously I fell into a hole. I don't know what it was. You're calling it a foxhole. I don't know what it was, but half my body disappeared in a hole. And I think I had scared, what's his name? Louis?
Yeah.
I scared Louis for some reason. He's like, what the hell? Because like I like randomly disappeared in this hole. And, and he's like, dude, are you okay? I'm like, I don't even know. Adrenaline started coming off, and I was not feeling good. And obviously it showed because I think hole 8 I double bogey, and then which my second round I parred.
Mm-hmm.
Um my luck. And then um and then yeah, it's definitely it wasn't good, but I ended my first round with a +3. I was par. I was actually under one for a while, but then obviously I bogey, then double bogey. Um and then wait, no, I'm a bad. I 3 bogeys, 2 double bogeys, or wow. 3 bogeys, 1 double bogey, but then I had 2 birdies. So
Mm-hmm.
I had um uh +3.
That was basically it for the first round, though.
What was that?
I said that's basically sums up that first round, though. Is
Yeah. The first round was great. Like I said, it was good. Our card mates was amazing. I think really personally, because we're going to get into it in the second card, is you need to have a good environment. Even if you don't talk, or you don't have to like bullshit and like do whatever, like you could just hang out and have fun. Or you like what I'm trying to say is like you don't have to like crack jokes and anything like that. You could just have a great time with them, and by simply just being nice and like having good energy. Good Having good energy is definitely great because golf is definitely a mental game. And so like giving that space for people to feel not only welcome but just valuable in a way, like definitely allows them to play better. And I really felt that with everybody. Like all of us were accepted, all of us were helping each other out. We were doing great. Like there was a couple times where our our disc would, fall in the creek or do whatever, and we were right there to help and grab each other's disc, and you know and it was just a good time. Like I felt like it was a great. I really wish we kept the card for a second round, but obviously we all placed in random ass spots, and um they stuck you on hole 2, which I thought that was really interesting for the beginning. I don't know what that was for, but that's cool. And but yeah, I mean, I gotta say, round 1 was one of the best disc golf tournament experience I've ever had. I would definitely say that.
mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, right now we'll go into Rodney's corner, hit up some champion cups, um, talk, and then also we're gonna be previewing TDO. We'll see you there. Alrighty, guys, we're here in Rodney's corner. There's not really much of introduction I need, but except for she is just kicking her butt right now, I believe. Am I not? Are you not anymore? Somebody's taken over the throne finally.
It's a tie right now.
Interesting. Well, it's not for me because none of
No,
my
it's not
picks.
from you. Okay. So for the 2024 Champions Cup Major, Rodney, aka Sarah, got 0 points for FPO
Uh-huh.
and MPO. Tyler got 2 points for FPO, 0 points for MPO, and Kyle got 2 points FPO and 1 point MPO. So the points currently is Sarah 29, Tyler 22, and Kyle 29.
Woo!
Let's go. Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah, that was rough. That was rough. I didn't get any points.
Champions Cup is so hard, and Northwoods is the hardest course for them to plan. So it's so unpredictable at Northwoods. 4 rounds. Curia always with the weather. For some reason, it always rains here when they come through, no matter if it's springtime or summertime. They're going to get a day of rain. But, it's always a good tournament, though, because it is hard. It's a challenge. And when it's a challenging course like that, you get players like Paul Bari that does really well at these type of courses because you don't have to out bomb everybody. Like there's a bunch of people that will pop up and in, and then, up and down and everything else. So that's what I love about like Northwoods and stuff like that. As Andrew Presnell, get it down. How about that one?
Yeah, I didn't know he was actually. I don't know if he's technically a St. Louis native or at least just Missouri based, but I was just seeing all over my news feed on like Facebook and Instagram on the congratulations to Andrew Presnell. And yeah, because I was like, even there's people that I didn't even know they even know disc golf, and they were posting saying like congratulations Andrew for winning, and like it just threw me off, and I'm just like, wait, what? And then I actually looked, and he had 50 mutual friends, like all from high school. So I don't know if he like went to the same high school as me, or if he grew up in the same area as me. So I have no idea, but there's a lot of people from my high school that knows him. So I don't know if he went to my actual high school or not, but he was.
No, he's Ozark, Missouri.
Oh, okay, cool. That's still really close though.
No, I know. And a lot of people from your high school go to the Ozarks for vacations and stuff. So that would make sense.
He's a 92 baby. So, I mean, we're 90, I'm 90, or both of us are 93. So he's only a year older than us, which once again, that's cool to see that there are people, like Simon Lazat and Andrew Presnell and a couple other guys that are still up on the top that are in their early 30s. So it's cool that the 30 gang is still kicking. So I'll take that.
I'm just
Good.
I said I'm just personally waiting for Ricky to take it. He's up there. He's in third, and I'm like, I know, and you could tell he wants it. So I'm waiting for it to finally like fall for him.
Yeah, I mean, another good, a course like this, I don't know, I didn't think about it more, but like Nicholas Antela, another great showing in a technical course. Fantastic to see him up there. As you said, Ricky's up there. Ezra Robinson popped off. Calvin Heiberg, just Mr. Robot himself, finishing fifth. Matty O's really good at courses like this. Chris Dickerson, Gannon Burr, Paul, Macbeth, Barella, all top 10, tied for 10th. Yeah, again, Barella not falling out of that top 10.
He's still in the top 10, even if it's a tie, it's still top 10.
A lot of names up there that were going in and out all weekend, but overall, a very fun MPO field.
Yeah. I wish obviously I could watch more of it. I would definitely gotta like watch the just the rounds separately because we'll just have to catch up because obviously traveling up to you and doing our disc golf weekend, which obviously this is pre-recorded, but you guys probably heard this a little bit before and probably a little bit after this. But yeah, I definitely am excited to watch it. I heard of some good stuff. I do want to hear what happened with apparently there was like a step putt situation that happened with Presnell, I believe.
Oh, interesting.
I believe there was a weird call where it was he like fell with one of his putts because he was trying to balance himself behind his marker or his mini, and apparently he fell or something like that. I don't know if he got stroked for it or not, or I don't know what the full thing is, but there's something about, I just heard that there's something that happened. So I like to kind of see like what actually happened, and but they said like it didn't matter regardless
No.
of what the call was. So
I was gonna
Yeah,
say, regardless, he won like 4 strokes in front.
yeah,
So even if it was a stroke issue, he still would have, it wasn't like
yeah,
a tiebreaker.
yeah. No, it's just,
exactly.
I think it's just one of those things where it's still, they're trying to figure it out, because I think Tatar got bullied with her jump putt,
She doesn't
and
jump putt anymore.
she doesn't jump putt anymore.
She hasn't been doing it, and people are
Um,
wondering if it's because of that, or if she's just gone away from it just naturally, or if it's because of all the backlash. Honestly, to see what she is doing or anybody's doing, you gotta watch it
frame by frame.
and frame by frame to finally see it. So people that
That's
are
what they
like
did with
pointing
hers.
this out, yeah, people are pointing this out. It's such a boom that like, let's come on, nobody's seeing it anyways in
Yeah,
the human eye. This is the fight though, if you want to be truthful though, especially for the pros, which will be through all PDGA. We've talked about it multiple times that there is no step putting at all within the first 2 circles. So from circle 2, circle 1, you can't do it at all.
yeah. It's just, it's one of those things, and now they're, I don't use it because, like I said, it just, to me it feels weird, and I never liked it. Um, I never understood it. So obviously, a step putt is a little bit different. When you're obviously further out for it. Um, Even then, I try to stay away from it. I don't know if it's because of my height, but at the same time, though, I know that a lot of people my height do it perfectly fine.
Oh,
So
Anthony Baroa, that dude's like what, 6'7"?
yeah, and then like Gannon Burr does it, I think, for his
Uh,
further ones out, and so there's really no excuses. I guess for me, it just feels weird. So, but
Before
yeah,
we do move to FPO though, I gotta give a shout out. At least you got a little action. At least I feel bad. Honestly, I feel bad, of course. But you came back at Champions Cup at the hardest course to play at on tour. I know you finished in 90th. You know, you were really close of, off on that 96 spot, but Eagle, keep your head up. Like
Did
that's
you
a hard thing to come back to.
yeah,
and
I did. I watched his Eagle Unlimited. If people for some reason live in a box and don't know, his Eagles vlogs and he has Eagle Unlimited. That is more of him just talking to the camera about what's going on and his thoughts and stuff.
yeah.
Check out that too. It's a really great insight. And like he says,
It's long, but it's good.
it's long, but it's good. But he can't make too much any excuses, a lot's on him. A lot's on, just missing lines. But it's Russ. Let's be honest. You haven't played in a tournament like that. You can go play casuals all you want.
You could,
and
it's different.
And you get into a tournament, your early release and your late release, you got to get into the groove of things. You know what I mean?
And the first time he's back, I mean, it's not an excuse or anything, but like, what a time to come back. It's raining majority of the entire time. No good lucks in his thing. Like on Facebook, he shared a thing of like, welcome to hole number 12, the worst hole. You hear it click wrong, and then the next slide, it's stuck in a tree, and everyone's like, how did that even happen? And Eagle just shrugs of like, this is just my luck this time. Like I can't do anything about it. It is what it is. But I'm excited he's back and healthy, and it's a hard course to come back on. So
yeah, and I mean, I get, obviously he does live in Colorado. Um, and I won't take this credit for this quote. It definitely I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about it too. And they were mentioning how the entire time of him learning his bag, they he stayed in Colorado, and
Yeah,
Colorado,
elevation.
obviously the elevation, it makes the disc react differently. And so obviously coming actually down from Colorado, the disc will fly completely different. And
Mhm.
I he probably should have tried it in other states just to kind of get used to and familiar with it, just in regular base, because the odds, I mean, like, there's not many stops that have the higher elevation. Obviously, one of his favorite stops is Portland, Oregon. I don't know what the altitude is on that, but definitely, um, it's just that was the one thing that I thought that was interesting with uh just been there the whole time and also just learning the bag. And people also mention how like he did his quick in the bag, and they were talking about how he has like one of everything. And so it
Mhm.
just seems like he still doesn't really know what he wants. So I just
I
feel
mean, he's
like,
been rehabbing.
so I think he's just been, I think he's just right now very indecisive on the bag of what he really wants to do. I mean, I'll talk about
Well,
more, but like I've been throwing his rebirth, which is pretty much an Axiom Envy, and that you're holding currently. Um, and it was great. It's a great disc. It took a little bit to get familiar with it, but definitely came in clutch when I needed it
It's
in the tournament.
it's
So,
stable. For me, it's pretty dang stable. It doesn't really, it stays on its line.
mhm.
But for me, so far, it's been pretty stable. At least whatever what this run is of it. I don't know if there's a couple different runs of it. But at least the one I have, I've noticed is pretty stable. It bombs. I will say that it definitely bombs.
Well, I was definitely using it
Mine is
as
definitely more stable.
I was using it for upshots, and then also I was using it for like kind of like a flick hyzer. And it's dude, it was smooth as butter. Like I was hitting those gaps with it, and it's good. So I mean, like what he created with MVP, or Axiom, um, it definitely, uh, I see it definitely of a very much of a resemblance from his other disc that I've currently used when he was in Discmania. There is
Mhm.
very much a lot of similarities.
I will say too, before we get too far off topic of Rodney's corner, it does feel deeper than the normal MB. So your
Grip is
everyday MB, it's deeper. I don't know if it's like more rounded or what, but it's definitely deeper feeling.
well, I also was just gonna say in general when it comes to Eagle, he knows his disc knowledge. I mean, he's insane of knowing every disc
Oh
from just
yeah,
the
it's
classic and stuff.
ridiculous.
But it's and just practicing and throwing. But he pro wise has only been with Discmania. So learning, you can like you guys were saying, you can practice all you want. You can learn your disc as much as you want. But when you're so programmed to another thing, like you guys have the freedom being amateur, throwing whatever you like. Oh, I don't like this disc. I'll go grab a different one, do whatever. He is now mentally trained, regardless of him training for a new disc and creating his own disc. He still knows the other disc like the back of his hand. And so coming in and like a tour, like a not a tour, a actual competition compared to casual player having fun with people is a totally different situation. So I'm excited to watch him learn, get confident, be good. Rough start for him to come back, but I don't want him to like feel bad about it. Um, type situation.
I
But
will say,
let's you go on.
I was just gonna say, do we finally have the European invasion happening if in FPO? That's insane. What was it? One, two. 5 of the top 6,
Yes.
all from Europe, which is actually really awesome to see.
You've been waiting for it because you said it a few times already, and this is just showing more and more that yeah, it's coming. And that's why some joking comments were for Own getting in the second was like, dang it, Own, you ruined the invasion. But I'm also like so stoked for you for getting second, but like dang it, like it was there.
No, she's considered
Yep.
she's considered an invasion because she's not an American native still. I mean, technically she does claim USA or United States, but she's actually still considered in the invasion because she wasn't a native at the time when she came over.
Oh, I did not know that.
She's like a Simon.
Gotcha.
She lives in the States, but technically,
Yeah, she lives in California and everything, but yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Um, but Evelina taking it down. But that's her second. Hannah finally, didn't cut her way out of a top 3.
Yes.
Own, of course, ties for second. Silva, another great tournament by her. Like she's doing really well right now, the last 2 tournaments. And then, of course, after that is finally when Kirsten ended up placing. But yeah, no, it's. And I got to give a shout out to Rachel Turton. She is a part of the invasion as well. Got to give you a shout out for finishing 6th.
Yes. Again, it's just nice seeing different names up there. Like for both, it's just like you said, a major you can never fully predict who's going to pop off. And with the technical course that just happened, you need to be zoned in. And if you have a bad day, or like I said, like the weather made them delay from 10:30 to 3:30, like you just sitting around, you have to be still zoned in, locked in, and it's hard to keep it in. And some can handle it and some can't. And I'm glad it's awesome to see Evelina like close it.
Oh yeah, it's super exciting when you get to see her close it, and I'm glad to see Hannah be up there as well because she really if she can get her putting now, she's so talented too. And a quick shout out to Cat Merch. I hope you get things straightened out mentally and everything else because I know she's talked about that. I don't know if you've watched the All Air podcast yet with Luke and Paige. She was on there, and she talks about that too of just like being kind of in that limelight type thing. And sometimes it's weird always like having people know exactly everything going on with your life. But it's also kind of on her too, because last year she talked about the stuff with her dad and everything else.
I think so, yeah.
And then your talk about having the limelight on you of people knowing your personal life. It's kind of on you for doing that as well. But I get it
I
though
think
too.
I agree
She's young.
with
She's
that.
22.
But it's
22.
also, I don't know if she thought people were actually like paying attention because she was like an under, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, well, I could say whatever, like nobody's really watching or paying attention. And then reality is no, people are following along on not just your disc golf journey, but your personal journey. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute. Why did I share that? Like people actually are listening to what I'm saying. Because did she DNF? Did she play at all? Because I saw on the list that she DNF'd.
I believe she started and then she DNF'd the second round.
Okay.
And but yeah, no, overall fun tournament and everything else. But this is something we gotta figure out yet again. Why are we having players go out there 7:20 or 7:10 to play a hole and a half? What's the point of even doing that?
You're just wasting that. You should have just let them call it and let them go again, because what was the point for them to throw a hole and a half and be like, all right, we're gonna call it now. You're gonna have to wake up early and
it's too dark.
It's too dark. And it's like, we knew this. Why didn't we just all start in the morning?
They had to figure something out for that. And I get the hardest part is it is a 4-day event.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the field was going on. But if you know you're not going to be teeing off till after the FPO is completely finished or close to finishing, and you know it's going to be that late that you're not teeing off till like 3 o'clock for like the bottom cards, something like the NFL does or baseball or anything else. Just I get Monday's a big travel day for them, but it's a major.
Yes.
Move it to Monday. Give them the day. Don't force it on them to be waking up at like I know it's part of Yuli's job. Example. He had to get up at 4 something in the morning to finish his round in the morning. And he didn't get to bed. He was still up at 2:40 a.m. the next day because he's doing Joe Med's coverage because he's contracted to do that.
Yeah.
And I know that's something that he's signed up to do.
But you didn't fully sign, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we sign up when you're working that, but you're like, I didn't realistically sign up to not get any sleep doing my job. Like,
and then you got to go into day 4 you're going to bed at 3, 4 in the morning to get back up at, sometime early morning to make sure you breakfast and hydrate yourself and get yourself prepared for that final day. Oh, that had to have been rough, really. I could tell why he fell back somewhat like the way he did.
Yeah, you're just exhausted. There's no, you need sleep to fuel your body. It doesn't matter how much food and water and everything you get, like you need sleep as well.
Also, speaking of standardizing things, baskets. If you have not watched it, Drew Gibson came out with a Drew Talk video. Basically, he talked about standardizing things and stuff like that, and he was saying one of the issues that Gannon, the reason why he said it, and so like he said, he personally really likes a lot of veteran baskets. But the problem is the veteran baskets that they were using at Music City Open when he said that, the chain hangs up. Like here's the post under the basket. The chains are up here. When the disc hits, it doesn't catch as easy. The new veteran baskets, the chains are actually sitting lower down, so it gives more room to catch the disc.
Like 2 inches off the bottom
bottom of the thing. Correct. So that's what he was saying when we talk about standardizing baskets. If they update their baskets, if we're going to be playing at this pro stop, have the course upgrade to the newer versions of these baskets, because they fixed, an issue that they felt they needed to fix. So standardize them, keep them updated. Also, he mentioned these tee pads that they use. So we talked about the rain. He said they if you're going to use these and you use plywood like they did, it became just trampolines because all the water just whole time. Like you said, I'm going to go tee off. I put my foot on the tee box and my foot gets soaked because the water just sucks up around my foot. He said that's the most annoying thing ever. I don't want to get to a tee box to get my foot wet. You know what I mean? Your shoe wet. That's where I should be dry. Like you said, and he says that may not necessarily be the actual turf. The fact that they build these things that are sitting off the ground like this, about to break your neck,
and then it's a hazard.
And then you're building these things on platforms that don't absorb the water. It's a mess.
Yeah.
So they got to figure something out with that.
Yeah, that's a major, just for safety, first and foremost, because I always see when they're throwing off these tall things, I'm like, what happens if it's raining and it's slippery? Like, what happens?
James Conrad's throwing himself over this.
So it's like, how do we try and make it a universal safe situation for all players that come through pro or amateur of like, here it is. And just like you said with the baskets, it's the standard upgraded, all this like same, especially for the pro, like the pro stops. Other places, obviously, you play with what it is, but it makes sense of why he was like, these baskets need to change because it's not, they fix the situation. It on a pro stop, it needs to be updated. It needs to be the same. But yeah, nothing's more annoying than your foot being soaked and your feet are slishing and sloshing, and you have to mentally think of your game, but and that's just for me being outside in the rain, not actually playing disc golf. But anything else on last week's tournament?
No.
I'm good.
Okay.
We can move on.
Yes. Sadly, we all didn't get to watch it. We were all like on Saturday. I was with family visiting, and then Sunday I was watching those two play, had it pulled up instead of the pros. So I didn't get to pay attention as much as I wanted to, but that's okay. Okay. So the next one is the 2024 Dynamic Disc Open, which is May 3rd through the 5th in Kansas. I will have Kyle go first for FPO.
All right, so for MPO, no, for FPO, there's a lot of MPO and FPO. There are a lot of players taking a break off after a big series like that. I don't blame them. I know bigger tournaments going to be coming too. Not that DDO is not a big tournament; it's a fun tournament. But there are a lot of people taking off. But with a lot of the field missing, I have Miss Own herself taking this down. I think she has a really strong shot at taking this down because it's Own and she's been dominant with a lot of the field missing. I think she's honestly one of the more dominant ones that's out there in general. I actually have Keen finishing second. Keen, I think she's been playing solid. Her issue is just finishing. She gets to her last round and she just kind of stumbles and makes a lot of mistakes, but she's still a solid player. We've all seen her take wins and everything else. And she's a player that this is exactly a tournament that she can come out there and be like, oh, I might win this. And then she'll go back to being Keen and disappear again. And with all the field slim, I was debating on taking Missy, Big Money Missy, but I'm actually going to pick Sai. I think she has a solid shot of getting another podium finish. It's been a little while since she's been up there. She's been, kind of in the middle there, but I don't know. This definitely seems to be a weekend to me that we're going to see some names we haven't seen in a while.
All right. Tyler, I'll have you go next for FPO.
Alrighty. So I'm gonna stay on my Colin Hanley train. I have her winning first place. I feel like this could play her game. I could be wrong, but I just think it's gonna be good for her. Second place I have Owen. I think she's gonna just play well. Even though it does technically, it is DDO. We're talking Emporia, Kansas here, so they're going to be a little more distant drivers. But at the same time, though, I think her putting will be great, just depending on the wind, obviously, because I know Emporia could be very windy at times. And then the reason why I also picked her too, but I have her for third is Haley King. I feel like she has potential. I don't know what's been going on. I don't know if it's just been the still recovery for all of her injuries she's currently obtained. I don't. Hopefully her knee is better. I don't know if it is or not fully, but I just feel like if she just plays her what's called the quote unquote boring golf, I feel like she could definitely take on DDO and she may honestly could win it, but I have her for third though, because I don't know, something about her. It's like I want to pick her, but at the same time, I didn't. I almost picked Allie Smith, so I was with you, Kyle. It was going to be Sayanana or even Allie Smith. Those two are really speaking of to me. Um, right now, also, I was going to pick Cat Merch, but you even said it as well too. Um, I just think that she's in her head, and so that's why I didn't really pick her. And I just Missy Gannon. It's DDO. I mean, she may win, but at the same time, though, there's not much of a purse, you know. So she likes her money.
Big money, Missy.
Big
Yes.
money, Missy.
Okay, for myself, I picked Own. I just feel like she's the best competitor out there right now besides Tar. I feel like she's gonna show up like she did today. She showed up really well last tournament. It was just like a little too late, but she still got second, so that's not bad at all. I have Holland because she's been consistently up in the top. And then I do, even though it's not like a big money turnout, I do have Missy Gannon. I feel like she usually does good with the smaller tournaments, especially if a lot of people aren't showing up and playing. She has no reason not to like show up and just get a win or get up there. So I have Own, Holland, and Gannon. Kyle, I'll have you go same order for MPO.
All right, so MPO. He loves DDO. He loves the Raptor legs at DDO. He loves making drop zone putts from 100 feet out over water. Ricky Risaki is finally taking his W. I said that a couple weeks in now, but he does truly love DDO though. He is really good at DDO. It really suits his game really well. So I definitely think it could happen this week. I got to put AB back up there. He's been missing a little bit the last couple weeks. Think he'll have another solid outing here. And same again in Burr. I think those are three solid picks with the field that we have right now. I think those are the three that will definitely be fighting for that top spot this week. And I just want to give a quick shout out. He probably won't podium finish. Watch for a top 10. Brody, let's see you get that top 10. Brody Smith really feels like he plays really well here in the wind. I don't know what it is about this course, but he does. He does really well at DDO. So quick shout out to Brody Smith.
That'd be awesome to see him up there.
That's pretty good.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Well, copy and paste because this mug pretty much picked the same thing as Kyle. I guess we were on the same wavelength on that. First off, we got this sponsorship dynamic. Ricky Wasaki, come on. You have to win. You have to win Dynamic Disc Open. Like, it's the wheelhouse right there. Like, make it happy. Get that bonus check. Like, come on now. Ricky Wasaki in first place. AB definitely is coming in second place. This is definitely up his alley, depending on the win, obviously, but it also could be good for his favor. But I mean, a bomber course with that open field, especially for hole one, definitely speaks up. I don't know if are they still playing in that area? I don't know if they are or not. I don't know. We'll find out. I might be just blowing smoke and they're not playing the same course, but if they are playing the same course, then hopefully they are. But if I recall hole one, definitely that definitely is a thing that AB will definitely work at. And also I have to pick for my third, Chris Dickerson. Something is telling me he's going to do really well. I mean, he may honestly take it too, but we'll just see after that. And I have to say, Kyle, with your Brody Smith take, he's not getting 10th. He's getting 12th. He's getting 12th place. I'm calling it right
top
now.
10.
No,
so he's say out of top 10.
No, He's
in top 10.
Oh, I know. I'm saying he's getting 12th place
Exactly.
on the dot.
All right.
I'll put points on this.
Oh gosh. It doesn't. No, you can't keep saying that.
I could do whatever I want. They're my points.
I make the rules. You can't do that.
For
You
four
free points.
For 4 extra points, Kyle.
No.
You can give me that.
Well, if I get it, do I get 4 of your points?
Yeah.
So if he makes it in top 10, I will give you 4 of my points.
Uh-huh.
If he gets it on the dot of 12th place, I get 4 of your points.
Yeah.
And then if he doesn't, obviously it's a wash.
Yep.
Virtual handshake. The deal has been made.
And again, as I am sighing and shaking my head, I said no, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, for MPO for myself, I picked AB for first. It's AB this season. It's incredible. I picked Kelvin. He had a pretty good major last week, but he had a rough before it. So I'm just always gonna put Kelvin up there. I don't care. Love that guy. And then I have Burr. He's been consistent, and I feel like in a course he'll just come up and show up. I did debate putting Dickerson, to be honest, because he's been consistently up in the top 10 or top 5, even with his situation with his hip and stuff. And I'm like, this guy is like popping off. So that was a good pick for you, Ty. But yeah, those are my picks.
Sounds good. You want to put somebody down on Brody Smith too?
No, I don't care enough to do so.
Okay. None of your points?
No, because I said no to the situation. Would it be cool for him to finish up there? Absolutely. Do I have any care? No.
You're talking like he's going to get 25th place. So just put the betting down now.
Anyways, I think that is all for me.
Yes. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for stopping.
Of course. This is a side note because this is on my end. My biggest complaint with the disc golf tour is that when they mark it, so I have to make the list, so I copy and paste it all. They have the majors on a whole different page. So I go through and I copy and paste all the way down, and then I scroll, and the date is like between the other dates I already made a page for. I'm like, just put them all in one list and mark it as a major. Anyways, that is it, because I made the whole list for the entire year, and then I scrolled down and I'm like, I don't have any of the majors in there because it was on a different page. And I'm like, that's lovely. Anyways, that was my complaint. Rodney is done complaining now. Thank you.
Alrighty. So we are back. Now it's time for round 2.
Your favorite round, your fun round, the round that you enjoyed the most.
So amazing.
It sounds like it. Sounds like a ton of fun.
Oh, it was great.
I will say, in my experience, I did shoot a +4 overall for the second round. That's where I ended up placing as +4 and 11th. Sadly, not the tournament I was hoping for, but it is what it is.
I don't even know what I finished with.
I was because I already filled out my Team Gravity tournament tracker. Already did all that.
I don't even want to fill
I was put on to hole 2 to start the round. So I played with the other MA3 guy that was tied with me. We were tied for 7th going into round 2. And we play with the 2 MA1 guys. That was actually a cool experience. And then we had the MPO guys playing on the card right behind us. So that was a fun experience. So for my round, it was really cool being able to watch the MA1 guys, just the difference between me and them and the way they can nail these putts and zing their putts in. There's no like flutter of their putts or anything like that. It's just like boom, 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 watching them smoke these lines, going mid ranges, even further than I could throw a distance driver, you know. I will say though, I think I had my best throws ever is when we got backed up a little bit and then the pro card came up right behind us and we are waiting for us to tee off. Anytime that happened, my drives were low, nose down, deep, good shots where even everybody was like, oh, nice pull there, nice pull. Like it's like, yeah, I felt good. um, but overall though, not a clean round. Like I said, finished +4 overall, pushed me down to 11th, fortunately. But yeah, no, my overall experience though, talking to the MA1 guys, both guys are really cool guys. Um, talk things, talk about different releases and what's been going on with their releases and everything else. Fun environment, cool card, like yours.
That's cool. That's awesome. I mean, like, this is definitely a great motivation. And like, it's also cool for the acceptance that they had because you were saying as well, like, they were like, oh, dude, that was a great rip. And like, it's definitely, it's cool that they, um, were cheering you on, that's just great. Like, um, they weren't like the whole, like, all high and mighty of like, oh, like, we're better type of mentality. Like, they actually were like very much of accepting of like what you were doing and stuff, which was really cool. Yeah, mine was complete opposite. We pulled in, um, started on hole 12, so we jumped one hole to begin. Um, and it we're all just standing there. I was like, hey guys, my name is Ty. And then I was just like, nobody said anything. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, hey guys, what's going on? My name is Ty. And the guy looks at me and goes, Josh. I was like, cool. And then I was like, and the guy is like looking on his phone. He's like, yeah, my name's Ian. I was like, awesome. And then Riley was like, yeah, my name's Riley, blah, blah, blah. Like, he was the one that kind of like talked, but other than that, that was pretty much it. So and then eventually, like, I was like, oh, like, what do you guys are using? I'm just using the PGA Live scoring card. Like, it just makes it easier. And then I forgot who it was, but they're like, yeah, that's the point. I was like, awesome. I was like, well, I'm glad we're on the same page. And then eventually 2 warning went off, and then somebody, I forgot who it was, but somebody's like, yeah, I lost my main driver, so I'm probably gonna play like crap the rest of the time. And I was like, oh dude, I feel you, man. Like, I was there literally my last tournament, and it's awful. I'm like, now I have like 5 of them just in case if I miss one now. And then he like didn't respond from that, which is fine, not too much of an issue. And then obviously I get it, where some people are 50-50 on this, but the whole, like, at the very beginning you like do like fist bumps saying like good game, or like, good luck, good luck, good luck, or whatever. That did not happen for us. Absolutely no one did it. I was like, oh, good luck, good luck. And then like nobody did it. And I was like, cool. I'm just gonna fist bump myself. So, which is whatever. And then of course I don't know what happened, but I shot my Enigma, and my Enigma just went sailing on far right, I think to what I'm assuming was the original spot. It was the pole that was sticking out on the far right side of hole 12.
No, that's like a marker for the private property.
Oh, really? So
Yeah,
that
so all those trees on that right side actually belong to that house
okay.
on the right side of the T.
So that like random pole completely straight was not like the original basket spot because it looks like that's what it.
It looks like it, but it's not.
Oh, well, I was like 30 feet past that, and I like way overshot, and but like better than Josh. Josh, I think he went like 80 feet off the tee right to the ground with this flick, which was really interesting. He not only forehand everything, but he also forehand his putts. That it was very interesting. Like I'm being dead honest. Like he was like 15, 25 feet out and he was putting forehand. So that was really interesting to watch. Um never never saw it before. I mean he hit some, but not the others.
Yeah.
And then yeah, it just kind of went downhill pretty much. We got to hole 17, the last woods hole, which I hit the amazing gap on the right side with my insanity right into the
Yep.
fairway. Shot another one straight through the other gap right into there. Used my it was such a clean play. Um used my rebirth, hit another gap with a forehand hyzer flick, and landed right sweet under the basket for a nice simple par. Super clean golf. It was the best I've ever played hole 17. I mean, like I'm telling you, I wish I had it on freaking coverage of some sort. My drive off of 17, when it went through those trees, oh man, it was just like butter. Maverick Scott was there because he had to, because uh Mike Thompson, I believe that's his name, right?
Yep.
Michael.
Yep.
Yeah. He was two cards ahead of us. And he called up the TD because of the tree.
Right.
I
Yeah.
guess he didn't see it the first time, but the second time, obviously because of the wind, it was kind of creaking a little bit more. He called up, was just like, hey, this is a hazard. I don't want something to happen. And so Mike, uh uh yeah, Mike Scott, oh sorry, Maverick. Um
Yep.
he came and of course spray painted, but he was just kind of just chilling there because obviously there's a massive backup on 17 because one of the harder holes, obviously. So after Mike's card went through and then the other card went through, then it was our turn, but there was like two other cards behind us. And I had a nice little gallery and like I hit that and literally everybody was like, oh sweet man. Like it was just like a cool little moment. They're like, yo, that was a sick rip, blah blah blah. And then I was like, yeah. I was like, it was pretty sick. So that was a cool experience. But additionally with that, uh the one of my card mates, his disc was ended up missing. And so obviously you have 2 minutes to find your disc. Um One of our card mates was not helping us. The other card mate was helping, but he gave up after like 10 seconds and stopped. So it was me and the actual person who lost his disc. Um, and so we're looking, he's like in this general facility, and I'm trying to help him out to find it. Obviously, we can't find it. And this is way past the 2 minute mark at this point. And I kind of like slightly suggested, I was like, hey, like it's past 2 minutes, like we gotta keep moving. Like, I understand that it sucks, but like we gotta keep going. And didn't say anything to me. So like I'm like, hey, like we gotta go. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but like we gotta go. Like, pace of play, like it's way past 2 minutes. Like, you gotta just take it where you saw it last, or at least somewhere that we agree, which we just agreed, just like in a certain facility, just away from things, so that's how he could just have it. Because honestly, like 17's a killer. Like, no matter where you are, there's still trees to get around. So like I wasn't gonna try to punish him too much, but at the same time though, it was just like, there's not much you could do at this point. Which is true, because literally he threw it to the next available tree. So it didn't really matter. So that happened. Same guy also, as every single time he was foot faulting in 1st circle. And um it was actually at that one before we got onto the tee. It was on 16 he did it. And which I thought was funny, because I did it in front of Maverick. And I was like, hey Ian, this is how I said it. Please correct me if I did this wrong. I go, hey man, um I don't know if you actually like, I just want to just bring this up. Like, I don't know if you maybe know, but technically you need to stay at rest the entire time when you're putting inside circle, which is roughly 33 feet out. If you just didn't know that. But technically you're not supposed to move at all. And you keep like stepping over your marker. And if it was a little bit more serious tournament, but at the same time, this is a C tier, so it still applies. But if you go cross over, it's a strainly poke. I'm not saying I'm giving you a strainly poke or a penalty stroke, but like you can't do that. Like, so this is like a warning, I guess you would call that.
Yeah.
And
warning.
And he didn't say anything to me. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, I guess he doesn't want to acknowledge it. That's fine. And then the remainder of the time, he just kept doing it. And then I got to the point where I was like, I'll just try it again. And then I was like, hey, like, you're still doing it. And then like the other two people chimed in, where it was just like, yeah, we just don't care. Like, if he wants to do it, he could do it. I'm just like, okay. So then now it puts me in a situation of like, what's my next move? Like, I can't anonymously just call the TD and be like, yeah, this dude is not following orders. And it's like, because A, it's a C tier, which they're going to be like, it's just a C tier. But at the same time, though, it's like, it was really annoying, because like he, like, it obviously he beat you. Like, he beat you by a position. That could have been your position if he putt properly. We don't know. We don't know what the outcome could have been, but like it definitely takes an advantage, when you are 10, 15 feet out and you're able just to walk over your marker. And so like I felt in a weird predicament, and it still to this day feels really weird to talk about it. And that's why it's just like, I wish even as a C tier tournament, if it's a PDGA sanction, it still needs to be required for all of it, which I get it. We're a little more leeway on it, but like that's the one thing I never understood about C tier is like people allowed to smoke or drink, or even like um breaking rules. It's like the whole point of being a PDGA tournament is following all procedures of like, that the whole point of it is like, yeah, it's supposed to be a little bit looser, but it's supposed to be you learning the rules as so that's how you can do a B tier and also an A tier, because you could definitely tell a difference even between a B tier and a C tier. I've done a B tier before, and it's really different compared to even a C tier. And like, I can't even imagine an A tier. I would love to try one just to remotely see it. So it's just, that was really annoying. Because then once again I look like the bad guy, and like all I'm trying to do is just follow rules, and because like I'm just trying to respect the game. So, um, yeah, that happened, and then obviously I had a disc
I mean,
lock.
and the thing about that whole situation too, like he's lucky, like I wasn't on the card because I got put into another card, but there are like I'm assistant TD, and if I'm placed on that card, then what happens? You know what I mean? Like if it wasn't you
Yeah,
on that card, it was me. It's the whole listen. This is what it is. You do
yeah,
it again, it's happening. You're getting stroked.
yeah. Well, I think also you have, not in a weird way, but like you are a TD, or you were a TD, so you have a little more authority. I feel where
No,
you're.
yeah, no, for sure. But it's just one of the. It's weird though when like
I'm a.
how much people are like, you know,
mm,
whatever.
I think for me, it's just it's a factor of like, as a player myself, trying to tell somebody something, and then the other card mates flat out say they don't care,
Mhm.
and then now I try to address it with the TD. I just feel like I'm now that tattletale of
No, you
like,
do. Yeah, yeah.
and then it makes it super awkward for the rest of the thing, like, which honestly couldn't be any more awkward already because it was awkward. But it's just, now you're in this predicament of like, it just feels weird. So yeah, it wasn't a weird situation, and it wasn't fun, and it made the entire rest of the rounds just awful, and I wanted it to be over. I felt alone. I didn't feel, the mood and energy was way off, and it showed. My score really reflected that round alone. I ended with a plus 10 with it. And so, like, that's awful. Like, I don't
Hmm.
want that. And obviously I got my two birds that I always get, which is hole 11 and hole 2. Super easy holes, but I could have gotten more. The only time I got any like relevance of a response from them was hole 1. I hit the fairway perfectly. My disc randomly reacts where it bounces, literally teeter totters, gains momentum from the wind, and slightly rolls out of OB, where the full disc is out of bounds. It's not even on the line. And it was the weirdest reaction ever. And then finally somebody on my car was just like, what the heck was that? That was such a weird reaction. And I was like, yeah, it was. It was awful. Like, and that's one of those weird things that you just could not control. Cause I easily, it hit the fairway perfectly fine. It just had a weird freaking reaction. And it was the weirdest thing ever. Like, it was like a 1 in a million shot, pretty much. It was such a weird shot. But that happened, and which just downhill from there. So, which I cleaned it up obviously for second hole, because second hole was the birdie, which um I freaking parked it, which was nice. I do gotta admit, you and Maverick both, thank you. I took your guys' recommendation on getting a thought space mantra.
Hmm.
I was throwing it the first time at the tournament, and freaking A. Man, you
Love it.
guys, I freaking love it. One of my favorite fairways right now. I'm assuming it is fairway. I think it's a 9 speed.
Yeah, yep.
If I'm not mistaken, it felt like a 9 speed. Um, uh, man, I freaking love that. I don't know why, but it is my new obsession. Absolutely love it. Um, your guys' recommendation was exactly what I needed in my bag, and it definitely showed. Like, I just gotta say thank you to both of you guys for that, because it was exactly what I needed in my I was missing that in my bag, and holy crap. like that, and then also finally my insanity being beaten in and doing exactly what I needed it to do. Those two discs have became such a clutch for me. I definitely have been looking up after when I get my box from Gravity, I'm definitely buying at least one more mantra and then one, if not two more insanities. Like that's how great I feel with those discs.
Which is fantastic. It's good to find those discs. Unlike me, after this tournament, I just feel like I need to blow my bag up and start over again. It was one of those tournaments. This past month, though, it's been, as I've said, a few times on this podcast. This past month, I've just been playing bad. I don't know if it's disc selection, if it's me, like what's going on, but I mean, like my home course been playing hitting like 6 over pars and stuff like that. And normally I shoot anywhere from even to my best round of a -8, which I don't do that often. Even -6, I don't do often, but I would say overall, I usually sit around even to a -2 or -3 on my home course.
Mm-hmm. I think the best
I've been getting like +6s and everything else. So it's
the best I've ever done on Walnut is 4 under. But yeah, I think it's just it might be a little bit too much. You maybe just been playing a little too much, and I don't want to call it burnout because I don't think you're definitely not burnt out. I just think maybe it's just it may feel where you over practice to the point that it became yeah, I'll definitely say like because like Yuli even talks about too, like if it becomes too much of a routine, like it tends to start feeling like work. I'm not saying that. I don't obviously it may not feel that at all for you, but it might be just like kind of just a dry spell where you've been overworking yourself to the point that, there is what's called being, overly practicing where you might have, you know, just tapped out with it. Cause I mean, like, that's what I do is like, I could warm up, but there's also overly working out or overly warming up to the point where you're not hitting anything at all. So it might be just that.
right.
So, all
It'll be
right.
exciting when I get this new box in though.
I know
But
I'm
of course, like you
excited.
said,
So
do it in the box and
in the box for both of us, potentially the following week, we got
if I
practice
get
round.
another one of these.
We got a practice round coming from Kyle in the next few days. Hopefully you guys or definitely you guys watch that. Both front and back nine will be on his thing. You have a vlog coming from me. I was wanting to get it kind of working on today, but a lot that came up. So I'm probably will do it tomorrow evening, hopefully. Just to kind of get that going. Um, like I said, we got it in the bags. I think I might. So there's a tournament coming up that's at the Chain Dragons, so my home course. Their their tournament that I did last year, it is happening on June 1st this year.
Do it.
So I might, or I probably will sign up for that and do it. Um, at that point, I just want to just beat my position. It's kind of what I'm going for. Um, so, but probably will start gearing up my practice rounds for that. Um, other than that, real fast, out of all your moments, what was your favorite moment this weekend?
Tournament wise?
Yeah, well, let's do tournament wise and off.
Tournament wise, I would say being able to rip my disc a little past the fence on hole 8, the MPO card breathing down my back, watching me. It felt good. Felt like a big moment for me. Like, oh, look at that rip. Why can't I do that always though? The pressure of playing with better players. I will say, playing with the MA, even though I finished with a +4 that round, playing with those guys though, like I felt like I was playing a little better in a way, in a weird way, even though my score doesn't show it. Um, so, but they always say if you want to improve, to move up divisions and play with better players because you'll get better that way. And I could kind of feel and see what they mean by that, especially when I was ripping those shots when MPO off. I felt like I was ripping things a lot better.
I bet they're following rules.
100%. Out of moments, out of tournament, I would say just hanging out again. Honestly, it's always a good time just hanging out, playing games, and everything else.
Mm-hmm. It's always good. Man. Man, it's hard for tournament wise.
Getting my hands on one of these finally.
I know.
Thank you, Josh. Josh Howard.
Josh Howard, you're the real MVP.
Yes. Congratulations on your big win. Big
weekend.
Yeah, winning the Iron Man. It's a 3-rounder.
That's a great moment.
And then you take out MA, the Walnut Open all in one tournament. His official upbringing to MA3, because after this month he's definitely going to be moving up.
Yeah, though that's so cool. That's awesome that he had such a great weekend, taking 2 wins in one weekend. Like that is an accomplishment that I hopefully one weekend could do. For sure. Man, this is tough. I asked the question and I didn't have anything ready for it. It's always good seeing you guys. I think I don't know, like just everything. Everything was such a great time. I know it's a lame answer. Shoot. Yeah, definitely games. I love the game moments. I love us stopping, getting ice cream. That was good. That was actually really good ice cream. Yeah, just all of that, tournament wise, man. I think I'm taking the best moment as a funny moment. Hole 21, first round, when you and I literally our drives were overlapping each other. That was pretty funny. Our first throw.
Right.
Our first throw was pretty much the exact same throw, and then Maverick decides to come down and start taking photos of us, and we're just like right on top of each other with our disc.
Yep.
Like,
Gravity, guys.
That was pretty funny. That was a good moment. I don't know. It was kind of just honestly, it was really fun just watching you doing the whole TD just action. Like that was really cool. Just watching you do that. Doing things for your community. That was such a cool experience. It definitely makes me want to do it. I just want to. Oh man, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the community down here, to be honest. Sorry, Florida. Sorry, Florida listeners. Definitely would gladly